Welcome back to my channel! Matamlay ako ngayong 1 linggo na yata. Hindi makapag-practice eh. Wala akong target. Nasira yung catch box ko. Para naman malibang ako, nilabas ko yung mga frames ko, yung mga slingshots ko, at tinignan ko isa-isa. I started siguro 4 or 5 months ago. No? Nagumpisa ako sa isa. Galing pa yata kay Sir Franz yun. Kasi while waiting doon sa order ko kay Sir Radtech JB Bailon, nakiusap ako kay Sir Franz Villamar kung meron siyang available para lang may magamit ako during that time. So, from then, nadagdagan, no? Wow! Nagkaroon ako ng custom-made, local, and international. Nagkaroon din ako ng mga production frames. So, nagulat na lang ako at medyo marami na pala. Ang purpose ko naman kung bakit nangongolekta ako ng frame is akala ko mas maraming frame, mas makakapamili ako, mas bibilis akong matuto. Pero, anong nangyari? Opposite. Sa dami ng frames, different styles, OTT, TTF, different sizes, different grips, etc. No? Marami palang factors that can affect yung pagtira ko. So instead na maging accurate ako, paiba-iba ng hawak, paiba-iba ng anchor point, ayun. Sabi nga ng mga kasama ko rito, I am jack of all trades. Master of none nga lang. So anyway, what I did, kinategorize ko yung mga slingshots ko. Dahil sa konting nalalaman ko, medyo sinegregate ko. No? Nilagyan ko ng groups. Ang nangyari, I have natural, yung mga sanga ng kahoy, pero wala pa ako nung mga sungay ng hayop. I have for survival, yung mga heavy duty na frames na pwede nating gamitin in case we need to hunt, no? And also, nag-separate din ako ng para sa competition shooting. Although wala pa ngayong competition, pero I really enjoyed, no, yung initial ko na experience sa competition. So, looking forward ako sa susunod, hopefully soon. And yung pag-uusapan natin ngayon is the EDC friendly na mga slingshots. Dito sa Philippines, hindi common na meron kang everyday carry na slingshot. No, normally ang dala-dala mo is yung cellphone mo, yung susi, wallet, and some na nakatago sa katawan mo. Pero meron ding iba na nagdadala ng slingshots, no? Like me, I bring slingshots every day. Pero ang purpose ko naman nun is halimbawa, I'm bored or I have time, I practice. Kahit na medyo maliit na area lang, makatira lang ika nga, no? At the same time, in case of emergency, probably I can use it, no? Hindi lang for self-defense kasi very unlikely na magamit ko for close quarter battle ang slingshot. Kung gagamitin ko naman for long range, which is yun ang use niya, I don't think it would be self-defense, no? Kasi hindi naman umaatake sa'yo or napakalayo pa para atakihin mo siya. And siguro, for other purposes na rin kung ano man ang dumating. So, that is my purpose. So, in order na makita ko kung alin yung pinakamaganda para sa akin or pinakapangit para sa akin, nag-create ako ng criteria. So, ano ba yung mga criteria na inihanda ko to test yung mga frames na available sa akin? First, syempre, kung gaano kadali dalhin ang isang frame. Everyday, dala-dala mo yan. So, basically, what is important is the size. Dapat packetable. Madali siya ilagay sa bag or sa bulsa mo. So, isa yon. When you say packetable, also, you need to determine yung weight niya. Baka naman sobrang bigat, maliit nga, sobrang bigat naman. So, kailangan evaluate din natin. Next would be, syempre, yung strength and durability niya. Saan ba gawa yan? Ano ba materyales na ginamit para gawin tong slingshot na to? Gaano ba katibay ito? Kasi kailangan din natin yan. Mamaya, gamitin natin outdoors, no? Tapos masira, yun ang problema natin. So, strength and durability is also a criteria. Next would be ease of maintenance siguro. Yung halimbawa, napatiran ka ng bands, gaano kadali magpalit ng band outdoors, di ba? Kasi nasa labas ka, you carry it eh. So, easy maintenance, ika nga. Next would be, kasi maliit yan, no? Ang magiging, problema is how we grip it and ano yung control natin once ginamit natin siya. So, kailangan madali siyang i-grip and controllable yung recoil niya once you use it. And another thing would be, of course, no, isa sa pinaka-importante is accuracy. Dala-dala mo yan, madaling-dalin, magaan, madaling hawakan, hindi ka naman tumatama. So, yun ang problema. Kailangan accuracy. Kumbaga, gamay mo yung dala-dala mong slingshot. And of course, siguro para sa akin, ito yung importante is the price. Not necessarily mura, no? Kasi siyempre, hinahanap din natin yung quality. Medyo mahirap pagpantayin yung cheap and quality. Hindi talaga siya magiging even. So, sabi nga nila, if you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. So, kung ang hanap mo quality, you need to invest kahit papano. Not necessarily sobrang mahal naman, but commensurate dun sa quality nung slingshot mo. So, basically, yun yung criteria na ni-ready ko. And we will be discussing 5 frames, the torque from Simple Shot, bin flip, yung pinakabago ng Simple Shot, Wasp FTC from Wasp, Wasp Enzo G10, ito yung Target Master yata, and the Sniper Sling S-Ace. So, these are the 5. Kaya ako naman pinili ito kasi ito lang available sa akin. So, kung meron pa kayong ibang iniisip na we can easily carry around, so, paki-comment na lang below para in the future, we can add that sa ating listahan. So, with that 5 frames, alin ang pinakamadaling dalhin? First on my list would be, of course, the Sniper Sling Ace because of the size. Siya ang pinakamaliit. So, definitely, siya ang number 1 sa ease of carry. Next would be the Wasp FTC. Even though parang mas maliit para sa akin tong Enzo, kaya lang mas magaan siya. So, second siya sa aking list. So, third naman ang Wasp Enzo G10. Fourth on my list for ease of carry for the size and weight would be the bin flip. And lastly, the torque. Na medyo malaki na, medyo mabigat pa. So, last on my list. What I will do now is bigyan natin ng score. Score of 5 would be number 1. So, sa Sniper Sling, 5. The Wasp FTC, 4. Wasp Enzo would be 3. Bin Flip, 2. And finally, 1 lang sa torque. Yung score na yan is for ease of carry. Our next criteria would be strength and durability. So, based dun sa material na ginamit, ano ang magiging ranking natin? So, this would be my ranking. Again, number 1, which will have a score of 5, the Sniper Sling S-Ace. Bakit? It is made of aviation aluminum and carbon fiber. So with that, we know na matibay siya. Next naman on the list, which I will score ng 4, is the Enzo G10. Kasi G10 ang material na ginamit niya. It has a bit of weight na maganda. So, this would be number 4 for me. Number 3, sa durability, actually, pantay-pantay sila ng material. It's a hard plastic yung mga ginagamit sa firearms na I think today. Pero number 3 would be the torque. Kaya ako naman pinili ito as number 3 even though pare-pareho silang hard plastic is because makapal siya and robust yung kanyang design. So, for the 3 na plastic, score is 3. And number 2, I think tabla sila. For me, So, I'll give them a score of 2, both of them. So, again, that is for strength and durability. Yung ano naman, we will be discussing yung ease of replacement ng bands kung sakaling kailangan mong mag-replace. So, alin ang pinakamadali at alin ang pinakamahirap. For me, number 1, ang simple shot bin flip because of the plug niya, Ocularis plug. Napakasimple, you just take it out, ilagay mo yung bands and then put it in. So, number 1 siya, score of 5. Next would be a tie, no? With both Wasp products. Bakit tie sila? Kasi kailangang i-tie mo sila. Anyway, these both are wrap and tack method. So, pag naputulan ka, you just use the actual tie-in material or kung yun ang naputol, you can use the existing band para gamitin mo as tying material. So, this would score 4 on my list. And next would be another tie. Pero hindi na dahil sa tying material, no? Both the Torque and the Sniper Sling SAs, you need to have screws or Allen wrench. So, you need to have tools for this. Kaya medyo below sila sa ating list. I'll give a score of 3 for each. That is for the ease of replacing the bands. Next, grip control. No? Paano mo i-grip? Gaano kadali mo siyang i-control? For this 5, I think the top of the list would be this one. The Wasp Enso. Kasi yung material niya, for me yung material niya na G10 is medyo kapit siya sa akin kahit na pawisin yung kamay ko. Ito ang problema ko Once pinawisan na, dudulas na siya. No? What's good with this G10 is meron din siyang pinky hole. So, okay siya for grip and control. So, I give the Enso G10 a score of 5 for the grip and control. Next would be the Sniper Sling SAs. Even though aviation aluminum ang kanyang body na sa tingin natin ay medyo possible na maging madulas pagka ang kamay natin ay basa na ng pawis, there is still the pinky hole that can assist us in controlling and gripping this small frame. So, I'll give the Sniper Sling SAs a score of 4. Next naman natin would be this one. Wasp FTC. Plastic siya, so definitely madulas pa rin siya. But because of the design, no, sumasabit yung kanyang pinaka-tail. So, hindi siya basta-basta matatanggal. Plus, there is a lanyard. Another that I like is the grip. Kasi maliit lang siya, so easily grip, controllable ang kanyang frame once you use it. So, pag ginamit mo siya, when you draw and then you release, controllable pa rin siya kahit na magaan siya. So, score of 3 for the FTC. And next would be the bin flip. Ergonomics niya is good. It has also a pinky hole and medyo malapad nga lang sa kamay ko pero kaya pa rin naman. So, I'll give a score of 2 for grip and control sa bin flip. And finally, even though pareho sila ng FTC na design, medyo malapad talaga itong Torque. So, ito ang medyo hirap ako talagang kontrolin. Pero, still, kaya pa rin naman kung kinakailangan. Next would be accuracy and consistency. For me, all of the frames naman, no, are accurate kasi sabi nga, hindi naman yung frame ang dapat maging accurate kundi yung user. Ang nagiging problema ko lang is when I use the bin flip, I am having difficulty yung aiming reference ko kasi it's rounded, unlike the rest na meron siyang corner. Kasi ito po ang aking reference point when I aim. So dito sa rounded, medyo nahihirapan ako kasi tansyahan lang. I just estimate. Normally, it's right here. Kaya lang, paiba-iba. So, not so consistent with this one. Pero I really enjoy using this though. So, the rest would be 5. 4 would be for the bin flip for accuracy. And finally, the price. Yan. Medyo yun ang madalas issue dito sa atin. Kaya I will be discussing the price. Ano ba pinakamura dito? Number 1 would be, I think, the WASP. No? Conversion from I think euro to US dollars. Ang WASP FTC, papatak siya around roughly 26 US dollars. So, based dun sa 5, this would be the top, no, the cheapest. I give a score of 5 for the FTC. Next would be another tie. The price is $29.99 for each. So, tie sila. I'll give a score of 4 dito sa dalawa. Next would be the Sniper Sling Ace. If I'm not mistaken, the price right now is around $42. Kaya naman niyang i-justify because of the quality ng material na ginamit sa kanya. It's an aluminum and carbon fiber. So talagang medyo mataas yung price ng material. $42 estimate. And the last would be the most expensive one on our list, the G10. Siyempre, G10, medyo pricey. I think the Enso would be converted to US dollars for about $100 estimate. So, ito ang pinakamahal dito sa 5. For the ranking, overall, number 1 would be the Sniper Sling, which I think total niya is 25 points. Next would be the FTC with 24 points, no? 1 point difference lang silang dalawa. Next would be the Enzo, which has 23 points. Oh, isa-isang points lang ang difference nung tatlo, no? And then next would be the bin flip, no, which has a total of 19 points. And lastly would be the torque, which gives a total of 17 points. So, yan po ang ranking niya. In closing, no, nakita nyo na yung ranking. Nakita nyo na yung score. Wow! Kala ko, hindi na ako bulol. Bumalik pa rin pala. Patapos na, humirit pa. Okay. So, yung scores, no, yung observation and ranking na ginawa ko is my own personal opinion. Lumabas yun during the time na ginagamit ko itong mga frames na to. Of course, I take note kung ano yung mga naobserbahan ko. And yun ang dahilan kung paano ko ni-rank itong 5 frames na ito. Bakit ito lang 5 frames na ito ang ginamit ko for the EDC-friendly slingshots? Bakit nga ba? Kasi ito lang po yung frame na pang EDC ko. The rest of my frames, medyo malalaki na at hindi pang-carry araw-araw. So, if you have other frames na gusto nyong i-include ko, please, comment nyo lang po para maka-source out ako ng frame na yon maobserbahan ko at maisama ko in the future videos. Doon sa criteria naman, kasi nga, as I said, I am still a beginner, so yung criteria na yun came from kung ano lang yung nalalaman ko. If you want me to add certain criteria, comment lang din po ulit para naman mapaganda palalo natin ang ating mga future videos. Before we end this video, siyempre, shout out muna tayo. Shout out kay Sir Jonathan Carion, Sir Lacan Valeros, Philippine Slingshot Federation po yan. And shout out din po kay Sir Rusty Basco, ang President ng CEG Security, and Sir Ronald Tuason of the Philippine National Police. Maraming salamat po sa patuloy niyong pagsuporta sa aking channel. So, that's it for today's video. Alam niyo na po, if you like this video, just click on the like button and please share nyo na rin po para kumalat naman po yung information na sinishare ko sa inyo. And also, yung mga hindi pa po nakaka-subscribe, baka naman, pindutin nyo lang yung subscribe button para naman po mas marami pa tayong future videos. At para malaman nyo na meron tayong bagong video, kindly click na rin the bell icon para naman po may notification kayo pagka meron tayong bagong in-upload na video. So, that's all. Thank you!